Hey YouTube, it's Ashley and you're watching The Substance Project. Today's video is, did you know you could ask for a raise? You're doing the job of 3 people. You know you make less than everybody else at the company. You're not sure what equity is, but you're pretty sure you don't have it. You can ask for a raise. So these are my 5 tips on how to ask for a raise. I think the first tip is just to keep perspective. Most of the time, your employer would much rather keep you on staff than have you leave and have to hire and train somebody else. I know that it's such a pain to lose somebody good on my own team. Recruitment, interviews, it's a long process and it's not fun for anyone. Additionally, there's always productivity loss during that time period. And then we all know that it takes a significant amount of time to train someone and really ramp them up to be a team fit or a cultural fit once you do find a replacement. There's a reason that they hired you to do this job in the first place, and they're happy to have you there. I'm definitely not suggesting to give an ultimatum or threaten that you'll leave, but it's important to keep that perspective that they want to keep you and they want to keep you happy. Okay, so tip number 2 is be prepared to communicate your value. This one can be really awkward, especially for women. But you have to keep in mind, this is not boasting, this is not bragging. Before I graduated college, I had an uncle who was really smart, but always hounded me with the tough questions. And helping me prep for the interview process, he asked me, why should a company hire you? Why are you any better than the next person? And that question made me squirm at the time, and it was so hard to answer. But it was probably one of the most important prep questions that anybody ever asked me. That's exactly what you want to communicate to your employer. What have you done for them lately? How have you succeeded at your current job? Show that progression. Be ready to communicate what a stellar job you've done. I know this can be awkward, but practice does make perfect. So document it, write it all down. I often go backwards through my calendar to remind myself of all of the things that I've spent time on. It's a great way to make sure you tell that whole story. But then also be prepared to communicate your elevator pitch. If you were just riding in the elevator with somebody briefly, what would you say in those 2 to 3 minutes? Be ready to say that to your employer. Tip number 3 is know what you're worth. So if you're going in asking for a raise, it's really important to have an understanding of what are you contributing to your team and to your employer that justifies that increase. There are a couple ways to get this information, right? You can certainly do some internal research, just asking around if you're comfortable with that. Depending on your field, the stats might be available through an association. So my sister's a physician assistant, and when she was getting ready for the interview process, she had access to phenomenal stats about grads with certain degree levels and their average earnings right out of college. So she was able to say, based on all of my qualifications, certifications, degrees, this is exactly what I'm worth. If you don't have that, think about using the Bureau of Labor Statistics. You can check out their website, or for a less formal source, try websites like Glassdoor or PayScale. If you know that you're being underpaid, don't be afraid to ask big. Just have the stats to back it up. Okay, tip number 4. Don't expect an immediate answer. There's a couple things at play here, right? The conversation may be unexpected for your boss. They might be taken aback and just not ready to have that conversation yet. They also might not have the authority to answer you on the spot, right? They might have to take it up their chain of command to get approval. Allowing for some time for that boss to marinate on the decision isn't a bad thing. It also gives you a chance to maybe email over those lists of accomplishments and email over those industry stats showing that you know what you're worth. That's a way to make sure that you reinforce your message, and it also takes the emotion out of it, right? You're not in the heat of that discussion anymore. Be smart about communicating the fact that you know they may need some time to make a decision, but ask for a timeline. Do you think you can get back to me in a few days, in a week? That way you're not driving yourself crazy. Tip number 5, be prepared for a negotiation. A couple things here. First, ask for more than you want. If you're asking for a number, your boss is likely going to come back with a lower number. If you've ever been through a negotiation for a house, think of it like that. You expect a little bit of back and forth, up and down. So I would say think about that with regard to the salary number that you're asking for. But also, when they come back to you with an offer that maybe isn't exactly what you asked for, think about the whole package and be prepared to ask for other things that they might be able to give you. What's really important to you? More vacation days? Maybe a bigger bonus potential? What about equity in the company? Equity is a great tool for businesses to keep you around longer because it vests throughout time. So you don't actually get the money right then and there, but you get it as you stay with the company. So maybe after a year, 2 years, even 4 years. So it's a great tool to show that they're committed to you, and it's a great way to show your interest and your commitment to the company by asking for it. So those are my 5 tips for asking for a raise. My final note would just be keep it positive, right? Remind your boss why he or she hired you, why they love having you around, and why you really are worth that raise. I hope these tips are helpful for you and empower you to think about asking for what you're truly worth. If you like what you saw here, please give us a thumbs up. Think about subscribing, or maybe even share us with somebody that might like this video. Your mom, your sister, your friend. Sharing is caring. Thank you so much for watching The Substance Project. Please come back again soon. Good night.